Papa Squad. Come. We are listening to something from La Dispute. We are listening to King Park. I don't know what the meaning of that name is. Sounds like maybe it's a park. La Dispute, a lot of fans of this group, and I am not familiar with their stuff. I've listened to a couple of tracks by them. Chris has sent in a bunch of great music. Two tracks by them. There you go. Said the King to the River, which was very good, and Safer in the Forest, Love Song for Poor Michigan. Didn't like that one as well as Said the King to the River. But this is King Park. This is off of, I'm going to say, Wildlife from 2011. It is the not. Oh, don't do that. Oh, holy cow. I didn't like that at all. No, I did not. This is off of Wildlife. It's 9th track out of 14 on the album. It is listed as rock, progressive rock, spoken word, alternative rock, post-hardcore, and emo. Produced by La Dispute. One of his most popular songs. It derives its name from the Martin Luther King Park in King Park, sure. In Grand Rapids, Michigan, the band's hometown. And apparently, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but the song depicts a real event that blah, 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 blah. We will read that afterwards. 6 minutes, 54 seconds. Chris, thank you very much for the money you sent. Thanks very much for the awesome tracks you sent. This is the last of that group that you sent me, I think, back in February. Finally getting to it. 365,000 views from this track that came out a year ago. No, it was just posted a year ago. And because it's from 2011. So let's check this out. 6 minutes, 54 seconds. Let's go. Yeah, definitely alt rock feel, very driving guitar, or driving drums, cool guitar. It's very good. No. Now we have to start over. Why would it do that? I made sure that it wouldn't do this. We're going to start over again. I'm sorry about that. Let's go. Really, I don't know what he's going to go into next, but I almost feel like this is a natural feeling, right? The curiosity of what happened exactly. Like, I want to know. And yet I feel like this is just incredibly toxic. It's like the media involving themselves in something and wanting to get all the details and making it dirty, right? How do you feel after your son was killed? That sort of thing. Like, this is not natural to want to know all of it. I want to know all. I want to know the color of the blood spilling out from the tarp. I want to write it all down so I could always remember it. If you could see it up close, how could you ever forget how senseless is death, how precious is life? I want to be there when the bullet hit. Like, no, you don't really want to be there. You can believe that death was senseless and precious, that life is precious without having to know all these really morbid, gross, violent, intrusive details about someone's death. Maybe I'm totally off base, but that's how that section of this song feels, and I'll have to see what, and it looks like there's a good long annotation here, but that's what it seems like to me, so I hope they mention something somehow related to that. Let's keep going.
And the crowd poured out as the shots dropped into siren sounds out of their houses now and over front yards, all the way up to the place where the police tape ran to mark the crime scene. Everybody trying to catch a glimpse of what was happening, of what was going on between the ambulance and all the cop cars. Everybody gossiping, whose kid got hit, where did it hit him, and who could have fired it? Everybody wondering, how did it happen again, and is he dead? These children are kids. Everybody wondering how far they were from where the victims live, and I visit them, their houses. Inside my dream I visit them, my spirit soaring high and high up over Kings Park, leaves the crime scene, travels further back till far before the shooting. Through their windows to their living rooms, I see them younger this time, playing games and doing homework. All these marks of youth soon transform coldly into stone for fights and stupid feuds, for ruins wrapped in gold. And cruelly I recall why I have come to find a reason, but there cannot be a reason. Not for death, not like this, not like this. 3 days later, they made funeral plans. The family. 3 days later, a mother had to bury her son. Not far away, the shooter holed up in a hotel near to the highway with a friend and the gun. That same
has this, like, we have that lull of, like, the funeral happening and all that terrible stuff that's going on, and he goes back in time and like, sees the people when they were kids and what they went through when they were kids, and got to have, like, a normal childhood, but not this kid. This kid doesn't get to have that. And then slow narration, slow everything, and then we get to the point where the guy who killed the kid was found, and then we get some details about him, and that guitar starts and then dun 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 dun, and speeds up, and now it's exciting again. Now we should be excited. We should like encourage this sort of voyeuristic, like, oh, something's good going to happen. Like the cops are closing in on him, and it's disgusting, honestly. I mean, it's really quite effective in trying to manipulate us, and it's got to be the point of the song, right? Of we get these prurient we get this prurient interest in what is happening here, and we can't help it, but we shouldn't be excited about this. This is somebody who's going to get cornered by the police and probably killed before. It's crazy. It's really, really an interesting way to tell a story, and I hope I'm reading it correctly, because I hope that's what their intention was, is sort of to hold a mirror up to how we despise the violence and still want to take part in it, and like, just as a viewer, I'm just watching. It's just information. I just want to see. You got no business, like, that's not what this is about. It's not just a story, right? These are people's lives that are being destroyed and ruined and blown apart, and that's what we find interesting. That's what the news is all about. Like, make the story bloody and violent, and people want to know what it is, and then make it a revenge story. So we get this guy cornered in a hotel somewhere down by the highway, and then we're going to send the police in to assassinate the bastard. Twisted.
For where he'd stay, he closed the door hard behind him, locked himself in the room. They could have kicked in the door, but knew the gun was still with him, one he'd already used, and so they feared what he'd do. I floated up through the window of the room to the west. I hovered out to the hallway, tried to listen in. I heard them trying to reason, get him to open the door. His uncle begging and pleading, half collapsed to the floor. He preached of hope and forgiveness, said there is always a chance to rectify what you've taken, make your peace in the world. I thought to slip through the door, I could have entered the room. I felt the burden of murder, it shook the earth to the core. Felt like the world was collapsing, then we heard him speak. Can I still get into heaven if I kill myself? Can I still get into heaven if I kill myself? Can I ever be forgiven cause I killed that kid? It was an accident, I swear it wasn't meant for him. And if I turn it on me, if I even it out, can I still get in, or will they send me to hell? Can I still get into heaven if I kill myself? I left the hotel behind, don't wanna know how it ends.
That is excellent. And then the final twist of the song is, this isn't some hardened criminal, and maybe it is, right? It's a kid who he was trying to kill somebody, right? But he didn't want to kill that kid. He didn't mean to, and he feels terrible, and he feels like, if I can even it out, which it's not evening it out to kill yourself after you kill a kid. It was an accident. I swear it wasn't meant for him. And if I turn it on me, if I even it out, can I still get in, or will they send me to hell? And then the narrator is like, the cynical part of me wants to say he's not interested anymore, because the kid who killed the other kid, the guy who killed the other kid, is no longer interesting, because he's showing remorse about the killing. He's not some evil bastard who deserves what he's going to get. He's somebody with emotions and feelings, and he feels bad that he killed a kid. Let's read this. That's my take on it. One of La Dispute's most popular songs, it derives from the name of Martin Luther King Park in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The band's hometown. The song depicts a real event that took place there. A guy wanted to kill his rival, but the shot was misfired and hit an innocent kid instead. Killer flees and shuts himself in a hotel room. In the end, persecuted by police, he commits suicide. Okay, so he did actually kill himself. The lyrics follow two lines of observation. The chronicle telling facts as they really happen, and the point of view of the protagonist giving his opinions on the subject. In the final stanza, the two lines of observation melt in the tragic climax that leads to the killer's suicide, though the last fact is not directly told because the protagonist goes away nauseated by the situation. The chronicle parts are told in chronological order, and according to what was known at the time they happened. For example, in the first stanza, it's still unclear who shot the bullet because the tragedy has just happened and no one knows who did it. Sure. A detailed article can be found here on the Genius page. There's a link. Yeah, I'd be curious to see what La Dispute's reasons for making this were. And it could just be they were disgusted by this poor kid getting killed at random, basically, having done nothing to deserve such a fate, and wanted to call attention to it and how horribly it ended up ending. Very good. Very difficult to listen to, right? Just because it's not light, it's not happy, it's not a song that you wanna go, oh yeah, listen to that great song by La Dispute. Oh man, it's like, whew, that's a heavy song. That's really good stuff. And his voice he uses so well in this. I think he learned a lot from rap in this song. Like the way he narrates some of his words or performs some of his words, he's very, it's almost like he's rapping because it does have a spoken word element to it. Great stuff. Really, really a good song. Not one I'll be downloading, but it's great. Papa Squat, checking out. Please like, subscribe, and share. CashApp, PayPal, Patreon is over here if you would like to send me something, like the very awesome Chris did. Chris, thank you once again for all the great tracks and for the money. And if you want to help me out in some other way, go watch another video on the channel. That does help me out. Every now and again I get tracks that I cannot monetize, so if you watch another video, that is useful. I will also point out that in addition to the tracks that I'm uploading today, I am also releasing the track Toxicity by System of a Down. I recorded it the other day and it was blocked by copyright restrictions, and it has cleared that, so it will be up tonight after this one. Have yourself a good day. I will be back tomorrow with some more music. Bye bye.